Everybody comfortable? More or less? Okay, we may do some stuff lying down. Also, if you've got tight hips, grab a block. You can sit on a yoga block. You don't have to sit cross-legged by any means. If you want to, grab one of the smaller yoga mats. If you want to sit on a block, you can. If at any point you want to lay down, at any point you need to use the restroom, at any point you need to leave, do it. Okay, like it's all for you guys to be comfortable. Yeah, take over. That's fine too. Like, get up here. It's all for you to be comfortable. One thing I just want to clear is something that creates stress in me is time. That's something I've been working on. So, hey, Erica, welcome. Come on in. So if we go over, we might. If you need to leave, go ahead. You're not going to offend me, okay? If we go short, we might stay longer without me. Either way is fine. But yeah, but if we're going to go over, we'll shoot for 7:30. If we get to 7:30, you need to go. Feel free. Cool. Erica, we recording? Cool. Okay. Does anyone not have a sheet? Who? Okay, so before we get started with anything else, we are going to do a technique called befores and afters. So what you're going to do right now, and I don't want to front load this too much, but take a piece of paper on the back. You're going to make a little pie chart, or sorry, like a T-chart, excuse me. And here you are going to put a B, and here you are going to put an A. Okay? And then over here, you're going to put a P, M, E, and D. Okay. So a T-chart, B and A at the top, P, M, E, B on the sides. Okay? Laurel knows where I'm going with this. So all you're going to do right now is take a minute and you can feel into this, you can sense into this. You're going to write down either like a word for each of these or like a 1 to 10 scale. Okay, this is physical, this is mental, this is emotional, and this is vibrational. So what can that look like? Physically, how are you feeling right now? Maybe John says he's feeling tight. Just making something up, okay? So John would write tight, okay? Mentally, Laurel's gonna go, I'm kind of like, my mind is scattered. Just giving some examples, okay? Svet's gonna put for emotional that he's excited, really excited to be here, okay? And then V is for vibrational. That's kind of like, are you buzzing? Are you tired? Are you feeling caffeinated? Trying to like give a sense of like being aliveness. Questions on those? So how you feel now, this is the before. We'll do this at the end of the day too for afters, but right now, physically, mentally, emotionally, vibrationally, either how you're feeling or like a 1 to 10 to help with that. Good? Okay, take a minute on that and then we'll dive in. Then, yeah, I'll know you're done just when you look up, make some eye contact with me. That'll let me know that you're done. Oh, you have a sheet. All right. Good, more or less? Okay. And if you can't see me, if you want to move to where you can, please do, or else you're gonna this whole time. So why don't you guys? Why don't you all scoot? Yeah, scoot. Yeah, I think it's gonna be easier to move you, Marjan, than the pole. But yeah, scoot. Huh? Maybe I don't want to limit us. Yeah, go ahead and scooch where you can see me. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead. Sit in a nice, comfortable seated position, or lay down, or sit on a block if you've got some tight hips. And then we'll start with a brief meditation here. If you've never meditated, don't worry about it. Part of today is going to teach you how to do that. If you're an advanced meditator, part of today hopefully will teach you some new tricks, new tips on how to meditate. Okay. So from here, just go ahead and sit up nice and tall. And you can go ahead and take a deep inhale, bring your shoulders all the way up to your ears. Take a nice big open mouth exhale. feeling stressed about talking about stress, go ahead and take another one. All right. And then from here, you can wiggle your jaw to relax your face, relax your forehead. Just take a moment now to arrive. Take a moment to allow yourself to land into this space, into this moment. If there's anything from your day kind of pulling at you, you can park that outside for now and pick it up later, or maybe it won't even be there. But whatever you need to do right now to be a little more present, a little more here, go ahead and make that adjustment. Then from here, you can go ahead and start to find the breath that feels right to you in this moment, right here, right now. So how much inhale do you need to fill yourself up? How much exhale do you need to release, to let go? And then what's that perfect pace or perfect tempo of inhale and exhale for you in this moment, right here, right now? Not too fast, not too slow, but just right. You're finding it hard to find the breath that feels right to you. Do less, try less, stress less. Allow that breath to come and find you. It's the breath that's right for you. You're the breath that's right for it. Then you'll know you've started to find the breath that feels right to you when you feel a sense of release or relief in your mind, your body. Sense that everything in this moment, right here, right now, is unfolding just as it should be, just as it's supposed to be. Can you take a moment to breathe into that, to relax into that, to relax into yourself? Then from here, bring your hands to your heart center. From this deeper place and space of presence, of awareness, feel free to set yourself an intention for tonight of how you want to think or feel or be, or how you want to show up in this space. Whatever intention that's right for you, go ahead and set that in your heart center. See it, you can feel it, you can sense it in there. And then you can set that intention in your heart with a big, deep inhale in through your nose. And a nice, big, open mouth exhale. All right, drop your chin to your chest. Then when you're ready, go ahead and flutter open your eyes. Come back into the space. It'd be nice to rub your palms together, bring some energy over your eyes, over your heart, and over your belly. Quinn, if you and Georgia want to grab a sheet, go ahead and do it. Okay. All right, welcome. How's everybody doing? Good. Great. Cool. Nice full house. Awesome. This is fun. This is great. I want to start with a little intro of myself. I know all of you know me, but I don't think all of you know kind of my own journey with stress, and how it's really informed a lot of my life, a lot of my adult life, how it actually is one of the reasons that tribe exists. So I think it's important for some context there. I started practicing yoga in 2007. I feel so old. I feel like I'm dating myself saying that now. As a way to manage my own stress from working in corporate sales and logistics. And I found myself in my mid-20s being extremely unhappy, not having ways or resources to manage my own stress, my own anxiety. And a friend actually took me to yoga as a way to help me kind of start to learn how to chill out, how to relax. And I would tell you all right now, I know I've heard some of you say you hate yoga. I guarantee I hated it more than all of you when I first started. It was not fun for me, but something in it kept bringing me back. Something in it kept bringing me to the space of turning inward, of understanding myself. And I think it was really just the space to be quiet and turn in and understand and analyze my life. And within about a year of practicing yoga, I decided to quit my corporate job. Travel the world for a couple of years, study yoga, study Eastern philosophy, and I did that all through my mid to late 20s. And then in my late 20s, decided to start teaching yoga as a way to share the techniques and the teachings and the learnings that I had began to experience that really helped me. So it's not as big of a part of my career anymore, but stress management was really kind of the core and ethos of my career for maybe the first 10 years in the wellness space. So I'm excited to share with all of you the techniques I know that are really functional. I would say this is like functional breath work, functional meditation, functional stress management, right? We talk about functional in terms of fitness. I don't think we talk about it enough in terms of like how we manage ourselves. What I want to show you tonight are ways that you can easily use techniques, right? I don't want to sit up here and tell you about things that you can only do in a cave in the Himalayas because that isn't relatable to our lives. It's not really going to help us for who we are and what we're all working through. So I think we need tools and techniques that apply to living in San Francisco, being married, having kids, having a career, the stressors that we're all working with. So my goal tonight is to teach you different techniques that you can really apply and use starting right now. Okay, cool. All right. Before we get into anything too deep, what do we want to learn? Is there anything that we want to cover that's really burning inside around stress management or breath work or meditation? I can either answer some of those now, or we can kind of like put a pin in those for later.
Stress management.
What's that?
Stress management.
Anything in particular?
Business owner stress management.
Okay. So kind of like stress management in terms of business, career, stuff like that. Okay. Yeah, what else? Okay.
No, I keep learning and I think practical tools.
Yep. Perfect. Yeah, we're gonna go over maybe like 5 or 6 different stress management techniques or breathing techniques, and a couple of them are designed to be like in the moment, really quick, not something you have to do 20 minutes a day or 30 minutes a day or twice a day, because at some point that can become stressful and kind of hard to manage. So we'll go over some stuff like that. Perfect. Cool. Renata?
There is specific. Folks, they de-escalate a trigger in the moment.
Okay. Cool. Why don't we start there? I think that's a really good place to start. Okay. Laurel?
I was just going to say, maybe talking a little bit about techniques for building your awareness of wind.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go into awareness too. So, Renata, what was your specific question again?
Also, de-escalate a trigger in a given moment.
Okay.
On the spot.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good place to start. So we can talk about stress management. I don't think that stress prevention gets enough, what do you want to call it, enough press, okay? Because if we work more on the stress management side, then we don't have to work as much on the if we work more on the stress prevention side, we don't have to worry as much on the stress management side, right? I find, for me, is when I don't take care of myself, it's cliche, when I don't put the oxygen mask on myself and prime myself for the day or set myself up, if I start my day at like a 6 or 7 or 8 in terms of my stress levels, then it doesn't take much for me to start to get triggered pretty easily, right? With myself, my wife, my dog, with tribe, whatever. So I think one of the best things we can do to start to mitigate stress is really prime ourselves. Okay, so what I mean by that is starting your day with something. Is it realistic that we get out of bed, we check our phone and I'm guilty of this, Instagram, TikTok. I don't know. Is anyone checking Facebook?
A long time.
Emails, right? We do that before we get out of bed. Okay. And then we slam a coffee, jump in an Uber, or we go in traffic, and then we get to our work and we turn on our email. Like, are we even giving ourselves a chance to have a stress-free day? And I don't think stress-free is what we're looking for. A day with less stress, right? So for there, it's like, what are the things you're doing to set yourself up for success, right? It's like we don't let you guys work out without warming up for a reason. That's how you get hurt. That's how you get injured. The same thing happens in our lives. And when we're talking about triggering, maybe we're talking about emotional injuries or mental injuries, right? Well, if I don't take care of myself and my wife Emily comes in to greet me hello and I'm not ready and I react, that causes pain, right? So there's some ownership of setting yourself up for success, okay? What I would say to start is whatever technique I show you today that works for you, use that. Okay? My job is to be like a spiritual shopper. Here's 10 different meditations to try. Here's 10 different breath works to try. Okay? What works for Erica may work for Laurel or it might not. Use whatever works for you. So if there's one thing that you get from today, take that and start your day with the technique. Okay? And then what you'll find is, okay, now I'm at a level 3. I have a little more space. I have a little more room. I have a little more ease, right? And what I find is when I have that, Renata, then things come at me slower, right? Anyone else, Anthony? Like if you're at a level 7 or 8, it's like shit's just coming at you fast, right? You're like, can I get a breath? But if you slow down, if you give yourself some room, it's like you can start to see things come. It's like, oh, here's this thing coming. Here's this thing that may trigger me. I have awareness. I see it coming. Okay, how would I like to interact with that? How would I like to engage with that or not engage with that? That's really important, okay? So you've got 3 seconds to catch a trigger before it turns into an emotion. Anyone know that? Okay, 1001, 1002, 1003. It's a pretty good amount of time that you can catch a thought before it gets triggered in your amygdala to send down the enzyme to create the emotion. Okay? So let's say Svetlio and I are talking, and I say something to him that hurts his feelings. Okay? He can go 1001, 1002. And now we don't have to do any stress management because Svetlio just avoided having that all happen in his system. Okay, now that's really subtle. That's really quick, but that's going to be the best and quickest way to prevent stress is by catching it through awareness and instantly in the moment working with it. Okay, and how you don't get it to trigger the emotion is by not creating a judgment. That's a little maybe too technical, but more neutral you can stay, the more spacious you can stay, the more open you can stay, the more you're just like, oh, here's this thing. Okay. Okay, so you got 3 seconds. 1001, 1002, 1003. Okay. Why don't we start with a technique on how to clear a trigger once you catch it? Sound good? Okay. This is why you don't have a plan. I told you. I don't know why I created a plan for today. I told Laura I was not going to plan. I wasn't going to have any thoughts around what to do. I wrote a whole plan, and now we've completely gone off course. All right, everyone stand up. Please. We'll jump around. Okay, so this technique, this is directly related to Renata's question. Stress management, stress prevention, okay? If I'm not aware of something, it's going to keep happening, okay? If I'm not aware of a habit, I can't change the habit. So, I realize something's triggering me. Now, I'm going to be honest, you can't do this technique all the time. It might be a little weird, but when you can do it, you're going to do it. So, this is called the quieting reflex, okay? And what this technique does is it mimics the effects of meditation in 3 seconds. Okay. It's the quickest and easiest thing I know to mimic a meditation practice. So, Svetlio and I get an argument. Okay. We catch it, both of us. We go 1001, 1002, and then we go. Okay, and I'll teach you what we just did. But what I just did is I prevented the emotion from getting triggered down, the thought from getting triggered down through my amygdala into my system, okay? So the quieting reflex, what you do is you take the trigger, take the emotion, or not to, I believe I showed you this a couple weeks ago, right? Put it in your hands, Okay, and everyone watch me first. Okay, you put it in your hands. And then you see, sense, or feel that you can throw it out through your hands into the room. So can you see what happened to the hair on my arm?
Wow. Goosebumps.
Okay. I gave myself goosebumps because I literally threw my energy and my stress out through my body. This stuff isn't fake. You just saw it happen on me, right? I don't have like a little trigger. Okay. So everyone go ahead and try it. You're going to think about something you're stressed about. Think about something maybe that bothered you today is a good thing. Okay. Then you're going to inhale, bring it into your hands. Okay. And then exhale and then throw it. Okay. What'd you feel? Energy's real. Emotions are energy in motion. Okay. All right. Let's do that again. We'll go ahead and do it again. Try to throw a little more this time. Go ahead. Inhale. And then throw it. Okay. Cool. John, can we use you as an example? Okay. Actually, pretty good sport. All right, everybody watch John. John, you go ahead and do it again, same way you did. And watch his energy. Just notice what you notice. What do you notice? Anything? What do you got?
Gets all the way up through the sea.
Uh-huh. You saw attention here, and then you saw actually physically. Anyone else see something different? Cool. Okay. Quick.
Like feel everything. They feel everything that goes around, and then
Let it go. I really build up.
yeah, there it is. It's right there, and
But on released it, he paused. He didn't just like release it, like pause. It's good. Make sure he got rid of it.
Okay. You said you got rid of it. John, what did you notice? What did you feel?
So when I brought it up to the top, like I tried to actually hold it and feel it and like acknowledge what it was before I.
Cool. It's actually bringing awareness to it or naming it to be really clear. Cool. One thing I noticed, and again, we're all noticing different things, which is cool too. Is it looked to me like you didn't quite fully release. Like you got here and kind of. Make sense? But try it again, and this time, like.
I got it.
You feel a difference there?
I did do that.
Yeah. Cool. So that can happen where we're like, we get addicted, we get attached to our stress or attached to our problems, which really just is our identity. And we can acknowledge it, bring awareness to it, but then we go to release it, and it's like, I don't know if I want to let that all go. Like, that's a little scary if I do that. Like, who am I without this stress? Okay. It's also making something up, but everyone try it one more time. Okay. Ready? Inhale. Bring it in. Exhale. Oh. Grow it. Cool. What else are you noticing?
Same with chest, it's like everything else feels normal, like I didn't do anything, and then like I smell it.
So this is where we can look at framework. It's in the notes somewhere. And first piece to stress management, Laura already said it, is awareness. Okay? Awareness. All right. So now that Quinn knows from doing this technique that he's got some kind of energy, maybe stuck or hardened or whatever in his heart, and he noticed when he did the technique, it kind of melted it, right? Quinn, it kind of softened it. Yeah. What's that? Kind of dropped it down. So Quinn now can go to himself, okay, so I have some awareness that there's some energy in my heart space that's stuck. There's something there that's just kind of like, I'm noticing it's different. Okay, so now Quinn knows that. Quinn can then ask himself the question, like, what is that? Or what am I feeling? Okay, that's a really good question, right? So Quinn, if you're willing to, like, now that you have the awareness, what are you feeling in your heart? As much as you're willing to share.
Probably it's more like blockades.
Yeah, stemming from what? Okay,
I don't know if it's blocking me.
but there's some kind of block around indecision. Okay, and what's important here is like we don't need to know the answer all the time. Okay, like that's where we can get stuck in our headspace. Like, is it a block? Am I creating a block? Am I not moving forward because I'm scared, or I'm not moving forward because there's a block? Right? That's not really going to help us. What is going to help us is awareness. The next question is, what am I feeling? What am I noticing? What's happening? Okay, and Quinn actually led right into the next question: is what can I do about it? Okay, these are really, really powerful questions. Okay, so when you let us right into that, we have awareness. Okay, what am I feeling? What am I sensing? What's happening? I'm feeling some blockages in my chest. Okay, well, why is that? What's going on? Quinn can look at things in his life, a relationship, whatever's been bothering him. Okay, and then now that he has awareness, then he can say to himself, okay, what can I do about it? So Quinn, what's one thing you could do about that right now? And what's important here is we don't need Quinn to get from I have a block in my heart to I have no blockage. That's just not realistic. What we can get Quinn is like, what's something you can do right now to lessen that? So Quinn, if you're willing, what's something you could do tonight to soften or lessen that?
I mean, I would follow my phone. Like, yeah, I'm thinking something about it right now. Like, they go to me very good. They have to, like, actually. Even with that.
Getting a sense of trust could be a really good word for Quinn to work through right now. Also, this sense of like, what can I do? Like, I can tell myself I don't have to make a decision. I can tell myself I don't need to take action. That's really empowering, right?
I was gonna say, it sounds like there's a lot of sort of agony about what you can, like wanting to control the outcome.
Yeah.
And so like maybe another word to think about is control in that scenario.
Yeah. It's like release and control, surrender. So this is what's fun about stress management, these techniques. You can just put in whatever you want that works for you. And then the last one here is, okay, and this one's kind of a secret hack, is then you thank your stress, or you thank that awareness that you brought up. Say, hey, you know what? Thank you for showing me there's something there. I appreciate that, right? Because all your stress is doing is trying to wake you up to you. Okay. What's important about stress is it's not separate from you. Does that make sense? Whatever you're feeling is what you're feeling. Whatever stress is inside you is the stress that you're working through. Okay. Yeah, it may be created by something external, but it's your stress. So then you go, oh, thank you, Quinn, for bringing awareness to Quinn that Quinn wants to make a change. And then when you do that, guess what your stress does? It goes, oh, you heard me. It's honestly, it's like a little kid. It's like, hey, dad, hey, dad, hey, dad, hey, dad. Yeah, what's up? Oh, nothing. Am I wrong, John? Stress is the same way. Stress also, it could be pain, physically, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. You just acknowledge it and it goes, okay, I can relax. It hurt. Okay. Cool. So that's quiet and reflect. Not, is that helpful? That technique will set you free. Like I usually do it before I do public speaking. If you're in traffic and you're getting upset because there's traffic, but you forget that you're in the traffic, you're also causing the traffic. Anyone else ever done that one? Like, how dare these people be on the road at the same time as me? Okay. You get in an argument, you get in a fight, things get escalated, leave the room. Okay. And then notice what Leo felt is don't throw it at people because honestly, it will land on them. So throw it into a light or throw it into a socket.
Where all these things went because I felt it.
Yeah.
I felt the whole
It all
thing.
went into you.
I felt all the thing, but John specifically, he did it so well. I felt the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have got hit. You could have got hit with a crossfire. But yeah, throw it into a light or a candle or a socket, something like that. Something electric. All right, cool. Thanks for that. That's great. Great question to start with. All right. So, in terms of stress, what is it? Right. So stress is it's a state of worry or mental tension caused by a difficult situation. Yeah, pretty easy way. Pretty easy way to look at it. It's a state of worry or mental tension caused by a difficult situation. Okay. So there's a line I wanted to read from this tantric book that I study from. And interesting enough is I just read this quote last night. Perfect timing, right?
Perfect timing.
And it is the mechanics of tension. Okay. So the root cause of mental and physical tension is faulty thinking in relation to other people and to our surroundings. Our way of thinking does not harmonize with our external environments. This results in conflict of interest between ourselves and other people. Our internal environment does not match our pattern of existence. In other words, we live in the same way that a fish would out of water, continually fighting our surroundings instead of merging with the flow of life. Right? There's some really important things in there. It's talking about how stress is created by our resistance to the world around us and also the world within us. Okay. So what causes stress, and this is through my lens, if it works for you, take it. If it doesn't, use different words. But to me, at the core, I believe it's created by resistance. Okay. Resistance to what? Resistance to what is. Resistance to what is here in front of us right now. Okay? It may come up as I'm talking that some of you may feel resistant to the things I'm saying. That's okay. Right? That's totally fine. Now, the problem with resistance, though, is resistance, as he talks about in this book, leads to tension. Okay? Resistance creates tension. Okay? Tension creates disease, or as you may also see it written for, dis-ease. That's where the word comes from. Okay. What does dis-ease lead to? It leads to illness, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual illness. Okay. So the majority of our illnesses, whatever they are, whatever body they're in, are predominantly caused from this thing right here. Okay. And they're caused by resisting the reality that we live in, resisting the world that's in front of us. And really, it's the difference between what is and what we want to be. Does that make sense? That is the basis of what creates stress, right there. What is happening versus what we want to be happening, and the disconnect between the two. Okay? Now, there's a way to make that easier is something could be happening. I could want it to be different, but as long as there's no attachment in there, as long as there's no expectation, then it's fine. Does that make sense? The resistance is what's happening is not what I want to be happening. It shouldn't be happening. This can't be happening. I don't want this to be happening. That's where the resistance comes from. So I'm not going to say the easiest way to do it, but if you remove resistance, you remove stress. Okay. Now that's not too easy. Okay. I've been practicing this for 20 years. I still can't pull it off. But maybe someone in here could. So resistance leads to tension, leads to disease, leads to illness. Okay, you want to remove those things from your life, remove resistance to what is. Now, you may be going, well, there's things I don't agree with in the world, in the political landscape. Yeah, totally. Plenty of things. That doesn't mean you have to resist them, okay? Resisting them only causes one person harm. Who's that? That's it. I used to say that stress is a choice, okay? I don't fully believe that anymore. I believe it's a choice once you have awareness. Okay, once you have awareness, you come to a workshop like this, we talk about it. You're going to leave this room having more awareness and then, in essence, more choice into having more stress or less stress. And there's ownership there, which I'm talking about, right? There's a sense of empowerment there, which I'm talking about, a sense of sovereignty, which I'm talking about. Life isn't happening to you. Stress isn't happening to you. It's happening for you. That's a shift in mindset. And I know that's an ask, right? But the more you can get into an empowered relationship with your stress, the more you can develop a positive relationship with it. Like stress, it's not a bad word, okay? But it kind of is, right? It's like a 4-letter word almost. It's just got a bad rap, okay? And it has a bad rap because it's running our lives. We're addicted to it. It's creating us suffering, pain, illness, frustration, unhappiness. And stress is getting blamed as the thing that's kind of doing all of those things, okay? But it's actually our friend. It's telling us, hey, John, wake up, pay attention. And the less you pay attention, the louder it gets, okay? So what I'm talking about now is developing a sense of, say, choice would be a good word here, okay? So as Laurel said, we start with awareness. More awareness you can bring to stress, the better, okay? And it can get more subtle over time too. Like they don't have to be these big things where you're having a breakdown and crying and yelling. It can be very simple of you said yes when you really wanted to say no, right? And inside you kind of know, that wasn't authentic. That wasn't what I wanted to do, and I still did it. I said yes. Okay. These little things, they're like little hangnails. They start to build up over time, right? So the more awareness you build through meditation, through breath work, workshops, through community, the more you can start to pick up on the subtleties of stress, okay? So we'll go back to our friend awareness number 1, okay? And then from there, now what I'd say we want to move into is choice, okay? Quinn, we kind of talked about it already. So here's choice, okay? I would say you have 4 choices in every moment you can work through when it comes to stress, okay? Choice number 1 is acceptance, right? And not 90% acceptance, not 95% acceptance, not 99% acceptance, but 100% acceptance. This is what's happening, and I fully accept it. Now, that doesn't mean you like it. It doesn't mean you agree with it. It doesn't even mean you want to go along with it, but it says, but you say to yourself, I accept this, and I'm not going to resist it, okay? That's number 1. Number 2 is, from a state of acceptance, you can create change, okay? Take different actions. Start to learn different things. Start to do things differently, okay? So change is your second option, right? Your third option is to remove. Remove yourself, remove the stressor, remove the person in your life, whatever that may be, but it's to take that thing out and remove from your life, okay? And then the last choice you can do, and I don't suggest this, but if you want to, you can, is you can resist, okay? But if you resist, I want you to do it mindfully, from a place of empowerment. Okay? Anyone know why I'm saying that? It'll be a little contradictory. So
There is assholes on the planet. You have to resist them.
So we have to resist. Okay. Any other ideas? Why would I say you can mindfully or consciously resist as a choice? Everybody hear that? Because then you're not being the victim of stress. Okay, it's a really subtle one, but it's like, I'm choosing right now to resist. Choosing right now to make this a bigger deal. Choosing right now to fight. And what you may find is you learn lessons a lot quicker through that fire, right? Through that heat. Now it may have consequences, right? It may create issues in your life, but if you're aware of that and you say to yourself, you know what, I mindfully chose to create this resistance, I'm going to see what happens. Then you're in control, you're in charge. But
Patience.
Yeah, you can take it whatever way kind of works for each of you hearing that. But what we're really getting to is that powered state of like, I'm choosing to be in this moment in this certain moment. Right? We've all done that, right? We've all had things in our lives where we say, you know what, like, I want to quit a job. Anyone ever have that? Like, I want to quit this job and I'm going to, not you.
In the past, come on.
Okay. Yeah, you've had a job and you wanted to quit it, but you told yourself, like, now's not the time. Anyone else been there? Like, and you just go, I'm willing to stick with this for 6 months or a year. Okay, or this could be a relationship. Same thing. You know what? I want to leave this, but right now, I'm going to stay with it, but I'm going to choose to be in it. And when you do that, like, you, even though something sucks, you give yourself more space, right? Just like this job, yes?
Absolutely.
Nick, can you talk a little bit about like layers of awareness?
Uh-huh.
Right, there's I'm aware of this feeling that I'm having in this moment.
Yeah.
Right, like there's a trigger. I'm having this response to that trigger, this emotional response, and that's the like yes, I have awareness of that, and that's what we're trying to throw away. But like as I was going through that the first time, and you noticed that I didn't like fully let go. And I, as I thought about that, what that was for me is like, yes, I was trying to let go of like whatever the emotion was. But what I was holding on to was the story in my head about what was causing it, what that triggering thing was.
Yeah.
And so to try to like in my mind throw the emotion, the feeling out. But until you have an awareness about what the story is that is in your head about that trigger and start to have awareness of that, then that stress and trigger will continue to come back within that.
Of course.
And so when does that like the layering of awareness, where do you recommend that like after we live through this or?
Well, when's not important, I don't think, because if we put timelines on things like this, that creates more stress and actually slows it down. So if we can remove a timeline and take out the time aspect, it actually can help things get done quicker. Okay, that's more of something you need to experience, like maybe able to understand that, but to experience it, it's like, what do you mean? So like, what I'm hearing is the emotion is the effect. Okay, everyone with me on that? The emotion you're feeling is the effect of your thoughts, your beliefs, your surrounding, and your reactions to them. Okay, so your emotions, I would say, are like data. That's probably maybe one of the better ways of looking at your emotions. Okay, they're not right, they're not wrong, they just are. And they change moment to moment last time I checked. Everyone been happy and the next moment just been like crying. It's like, I don't know what's going on here. It's called being human, it's okay. So they're data. So the first layer of awareness is paying attention. Let's say that, right? Like paying attention. And I'm not married to one school or one way of building awareness. There are infinite ways to do that, okay? The lens I look through tends to be through yoga because it's worked for me, right? But you've gone through Zen, right? Someone else might come through Tai Chi. There might be artists in the room who develop awareness and consciousness through their art, or the coaches through when they're teaching, right? There's infinite ways to build awareness, and the important thing to do first is to start. And like being in this room, you're already doing that, okay? And you go, oh wow, I didn't know I had this thought constantly running in the background that's manifesting as anger. Okay. Once you start to pick up the emotion, right? Once you start to get the data, it's kind of like the first layer of the onion, right? And you go, okay, wow, here's this thing. I didn't realize that I'm constantly angry. Okay, I just kind of thought I was in a bad mood. I'm constantly angry. This is when we would go to a technique called vichara, which means self-inquiry. Okay, I always struggle with that word, inquiry. I don't know. So, and then you start to ask yourself questions. Okay, I'm noticing I'm frustrated. Why is that? What am I frustrated about? Right? This is where you're almost going to be like your own patient and your own therapist. Okay? And you start to work with yourself and you start to pay attention to your habits and your thoughts and your beliefs. And you go, what is going on here? Why am I constantly feeling angry? What is it about? Who is it about? It's usually a person, a place, or a thing that are our triggers. Okay? 3 things. We usually just think it's people. It's people, places, and things. Okay. So as John starts to go through and notices the emotion constantly, oh, I cleared it. And then what happens the next day? It comes back. So what that tells John is he's only working with the effect. He's not working with the cause. Okay. When we get to healing, the same rules apply for the physical body. Someone comes to Quinn and their shoulder is constantly hurting. Okay. Let's say Quinn massages it out and it feels better. They come back to Quinn the next day and they go, Quinn, my shoulder still hurts. Well, that tells Quinn that they didn't find the root cause. That's what we're talking about. Okay. So as you become your own self-scientist, you start to stalk these shadows. You start to stalk these like parts of you that you're unaware of, and then you pay attention to them. And what you're doing is you're trying to find the root causes. Okay. I find they're usually something around I'm not something enough is kind of where they land, right? I'm not good enough, tall enough, pretty enough, strong enough, something that your parents told you. So start to look in those areas, and then you'll know you found the root cause when, well, how would you know that, John, at that point?
You're no longer triggered by anything.
Yeah. You're no longer triggered, or you're triggered less by it. I think that's where we start. I was thinking earlier of stress management isn't about removing resistance and going into full awareness. It's about resisting less and accepting more. Okay? Everyone got those? That's the kind of my big takeaway I want you to have for tonight. Resisting less and accepting more. Okay? If you can start to do that in both directions, that's where you're going to start to move the needle. So John's right. Like as it comes back less or it goes away, I got it. Figured it out. And then maybe like a year or two later, it'll come back and it'll kind of hit you in the face because things spiral and they come back around. Right? Does that make sense what we're talking about there? Awareness also builds. Okay? Awareness builds is like, okay, well, what I'll usually start people with is like their language. That's kind of the lowest hanging fruit, right? We do that all the time here, right? Okay. So language is kind of the lowest hanging fruit because you can hear it, right? Eric and I work on language a lot and we'll call each other out. So if Erica says something like, I can't do this, Nick, I'll say to Erica, like, you can't. And I'm just gently bringing awareness to her language. Okay. Or if I say, hey, come on, guys, Erica goes, guys. I go, oh, try. Right? Team. Okay. So language is actually a really easy way to bring awareness to what you're saying. Okay. The next step from there will be to move into your thoughts. Okay. So start with your words, then move into your thoughts. Now, to move into your thoughts, this is where you start to get more subtle and you got to get more quiet. Okay. And this is going to be through meditation, through massage, through breath work techniques, okay, from therapy. You're starting to get into your thoughts. Okay. As you start to get into your thoughts and you build awareness there, then eventually you can start to move into your belief systems. Right? And there are layers. We're talking about removing layers of the onions of ourselves. Right? The last thing on that I would say is you've got three kind of layers of awareness, right? There's your personality, which is your likes, your dislikes, your ego, your neuroses, the things that you like about yourself, things you don't like about yourself, right? That's here. Well, what humans can do is I can go, okay, here's Nick. Here's the avatar of Nick in the room talking to each of you, okay? Now, if I'm unaware, then there's no separation between this version, this personality of Nick, and let's say my consciousness. They're just kind of this big mesh, right? That would what we would call like being asleep. Okay. As we start to wake up, we start to get space, right? And you start to go, oh man, this personality of Nick's a little crazier than I thought. There's some things in here I'm not really loving, okay? And then over time, you start to develop more space between your personality and your awareness. And then you can be like, okay, I'm now aware, and especially because we're talking about it, I'm aware that I'm talking to all of you. And I can hear my voice. I'm aware of the position I'm in. I'm listening to my breathing. Okay, I'm making eye contact with each of you. Okay, this is happening all at the same time. Now, humans have the unique ability to do what no other species does, which is step back another layer. And that is the awareness that we are aware. Okay? The ability to understand that I'm in the room talking to all of you and being aware of that all at the same time. So you have your personality, you have awareness, then you have what's called witness consciousness. Okay? And those take time to develop, and live from. And eventually you can start to do all three of those at the same time. Questions? Does that make sense? We'll talk crazy. Cool. Red. Other questions on what we're talking about?
So when it comes to awareness, like,
What was the last question, Sandra?
how do we avoid overthinking?
I'm going to sound like a broken record. The first thing is to bring awareness to your tendency. So we each have different tendencies that we are going to be more prone to or not. Okay, so if your tendency is to overthink or to think a lot, then that's what you can start to bring awareness to. Okay, and this is where I might give Sylvia the meditation called thinking back to breath. So what you can do is close your eyes. Okay, and I'm going to say, all right, Sylvia, pay attention to your breath. Inhale and exhale. And then what will happen is, before you know it, your mind, you can close your eyes while I'm talking about this, your mind's going to wander off and it's going to start thinking about something past or the future or lunch or whatever, okay? And once Sylvia realizes she's not present, she'll say to herself, thinking, back to breath. Okay, come back to breath. Inhale, exhale, her mind wanders off again. Okay. This can bring a lot of awareness to the thoughts and the patterns that you're running in the background that you're usually not aware of. It's a really nice, easy Buddhist meditation to start with, okay? And what we do over time is a couple things. One is we start to watch the pattern of our thoughts, and you can imagine they're clouds, but you just want to bring awareness to them and go, oh, well, if I'm aware of my thought, then I'm not my thought. Or at least I'm something greater than my thought. Because if I wasn't, I wouldn't be able to see the separation. So you go, oh, okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, if we could all hear each other's thoughts, we'd probably all be in jail. So that tells us that these things aren't real necessarily, right? Like, Rolo, you're looking at me like, yeah, man, some crazy thoughts in there, bro. There's some space, there's some freedom in that, right? Like, oh, I have these thoughts. I love the question, is this true? And your mind goes, yeah. Okay, well, is it completely true? Your mind goes, I don't know, maybe like 70%. It's a chink in the armor. You start to break through and work through it, right? So that's a really good one. And then what Sylvia can start to do is, one, notice her thoughts, notice the patterns. And then two, start to decrease the time between being present and, let's say, gone, for lack of a better word. And then over time, it'll be like 1 or 2 minutes it'll go by before you realize that you're not present. Come back, and then you practice, and then it's a minute, and then you practice, and it's 30 seconds. Practice, it's 10 seconds. So you're going to do over time, so you're going to decrease the amount of time between presence and like being unaware. Does that make sense? That's just like lifting weights. It's just like being in the gym and practicing. I have trained myself to be present, like more than you guys have any idea. Like, I've trained it into myself. I was very unaware and asleep and a personality and like just this like a bulldozer. Still can be. But so that's helpful?
Yeah.
That technique's really good. Pay attention to them, watch them, come back. Okay. I would say the difference between the student and the teacher is the time. It takes the student a minute to come back to presence. It takes the teacher 10 seconds to come back to presence. Difference between a student and a master is that the master is gone and comes back before you even notice. And you're just doing this all day. Yep. Cool. All right, let's do some breath work. Sound good? Get into the good stuff. All right. Oh, on the page here, there's a stress diary. This is actually really good. I would highly suggest you all do this for the week, okay? So this goes to John's question, and this also goes to Sylvia's question, okay? We don't need to do it now, but do this over the next week, okay? So every time you experience stress, okay, no matter what it is, no matter how big or how small, don't put a judgment on it. Like, oh, that was a big thing, that was a small thing. Write down the time that it happened, okay? Write down the event or the trigger or the person, okay? Notice that. Then, once you bring awareness to that, you're going to write down, okay, what's your physical response? Do you get tense? Do you feel small? I don't know. What's your emotional response? Do you disassociate? Do you get angry? Right? Do you get shy? Whatever it is. Then what's your mental response? What are your thoughts around it? What are your judgments? Right? What are the pictures that come up? And then finally, what's your energetic response? Did you get big? Did you get small? Did you get tired? Did you get energized? Once you do this for a week, you will start to see the patterns. John, this might go right to your question. You're going to start to see, okay, is it a time of day? Is it a person? Is it a place? Is it a thing? Right? Start to notice, like every time you go to work, do you get triggered? Okay, start to pay attention. Why? What's happening? What is it? What's going on? Okay, build awareness. This is going to be like how you're going to start to collect data to start to make changes. Okay, any questions on that? This can literally change your life, this technique. Okay. The one beneath it is another great one too. And that one is really simple. Write down 5 things that give you energy. Okay, Marshawn, what's something that gives you energy?
Hang on.
Okay, hang out with your sister. I hung out with your sister today. We had a great talk. Okay. What's one thing that drains your energy?
Zoom meetings.
Zoom meetings. Okay. So make a list of the 5 top things that give you energy or bring you more energy. Could be people, places, or things. And then the 5 things that drain your energy, people, places, or things. Okay. Then you'll have a list, and then all I want you to do is pay attention to these things over the week. Okay. Pay attention, notice them, and then in a week, then guess what you start to do? Who's got a guess?
Balance.
Do more stuff that gives you energy.
Yes. Increase your gains, decrease your drains. Okay. And what you may find is the more energy you have, the less stress you have. Okay. The less energy you have, the more stress you have. It's like an inverse relationship. Okay. So those are 2 really good techniques for homework to do. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead. Any questions on those? All right. Let's go into some breath work. So when it comes to breath work, the reason breath work works is because it is the fascia, which is like the connective tissue between your body and your mind. Okay. It's the go-between. It's the bridge. Right. If that wasn't true, then yoga wouldn't work. Okay. That's why yoga works. You're combining the 3. So let's do a quick technique. Everyone on your feet, please. What I want to show you is that your physiology, okay, really your mind-body connection, is probably the quickest thing you can use to change how you feel. Okay, there's a saying. If you change how you breathe, you change how you think, you change how you live. Okay, so if you want to change your life, it literally is as simple as changing your breath. Okay, all right, watch this. So everyone kind of like just take like a wide stance on your mat. Okay. And go ahead and take a forward fold. It doesn't have to be like in your hamstrings at all. That's not what we're doing. This isn't a physical pose. And go ahead and drop your head and close your eyes. Okay. Now take 3 slow inhales into your belly. And exhale your energy down your legs, down your shins, down your feet, into the earth. And again, inhale belly. Exhale energy down legs, shins, feet, earth. And do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale legs, shins, belly, earth. All right, slowly stand up. Keep your eyes closed. And now feel. Notice if you feel different, more grounded, stable, quiet. Okay. Go ahead and open your eyes. Okay, it feels different. Anthony, what'd you notice? What's different? Lighter. Lighter? Okay. Roll up.
First thing, like fresh
Oh. Still there?
shoulder pain.
Shoulder pain. Okay. Awareness. Cool. What else we feel in the room? A little vertigo. Yeah. Change your energy. Yeah.
At an opposite, I feel sort of stable, sinking into the ground, a little heavier.
Yeah. Work out.
Yeah.
Send some love.
Love.
Good blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Feel different, right? Who in general feels a little calmer after doing that technique? Relax. Okay, about 80-90% of the room, okay? That's one of your go-tos. When you want to calm down, one of the quickest, easiest things you can do is a forward fold, okay? That could also look like child's pose, right here. Yeah. Or laying on your belly, or this one's kind of funny, putting your head on your desk with your hands and putting your head down on your desk, okay? When we turn inward, when we fold inward, that tells our body that it's time to rest, okay? What's that?
That I do a lot, kind of like without thinking about
Yeah.
it, but just.
Uh-huh. Yep. So our bodies know, our minds know when our bodies do certain things that it means something, okay? When you win or you're celebrating, what do you do with your body? Everyone just did the same thing, like this, right? When you're sad, when you're scared, what do you do with your body? Okay, see that? So by changing your body consciously, you can change how you think. Does that make sense? Okay, watch, just try this. Everyone put your head down. And walk around the room, like slow and sad. It's such a sad thing. Don't make eye contact with anybody. Yeah. And now do me a favor. And sink down a little more. And now try to think really positive, happy thoughts while you walk around the door. Don't make eye contact. All right. Again, really happy, positive thoughts. All right. Come on up. Was it hard or easy to think of positive thoughts in that space? All right. Did anyone pull it off? I actually couldn't. Miley? You're able to pull it off?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. See my dad. Cool. That's another ancient yogi technique right there is buying a car and color. So we all notice that? We put our heads down, we go open our mouth, and it got really hard, almost impossible to have positive thoughts. Right? How are we spending most of our lives, by the way? That's right. You're like that to me. Like we're on our phones, we're hunched over, we're not breathing fully, and then we're wondering why are we sick, why are we sad, why are we depressed? Well, we're spending the majority of our life in a state that our mind understands as this is defeated, this is sad, this is not open and expansive. Okay, your mind's just listening to what you're doing all day long. Okay, now let's do the inverse. Okay, now let's walk around like this. Everyone put your arms up and look up. Make eye contact if you want. Walk around the room. Think about a time when you won. Give someone a high five. Okay. And now try to take some really negative thoughts. All right. Try to think of really, really negative thoughts and we'll give each other spirit fingers. No, stop watching. It's being negative. Okay. What just happened in the room? Instantly. Joy. Let's get the chills again. What else?
Good energy.
Good energy.
People were moving faster.
You were moving faster.
You didn't have to think happy thoughts, you just were.
Yep. You didn't have to think happy thoughts, you just were. Look how important it is what we just did. What you do with your body literally can transform your life. That's why fitness works, by the way, team. Okay? That's why I don't believe there's a difference with fitness and yoga. That's why we have it all together, because there's not. You're moving your body consciously, you feel better, your life changes, okay? Anyone want to see the absolute silliest technique you can ever do in your life to make yourself happier? Yes. Ready? Lock in. Okay?
Wait, I gotta get it.
This is it. I'm literally getting endorphins right now in my brain by doing this. Okay?
So are we.
So are you. There you go. I literally feel happier and brighter and lighter from sticking a pencil in my mouth and making it come out. Okay? If you want to talk about how easy it is to change your life, I don't know what gets easier than that. Okay, your brain cannot tell the difference from you really smiling or doing this. It's crazy, right? Try it. That's wild, right? That's how much power we have over ourselves. Okay. Cool. All right. That's your first technique. Use your body. Move down to ground yourself to release stress, or up to energize and get really like strong and powerful. Okay. Georgia, should I show the arm technique?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's strong? Who's bad shoulder? That's John. You want to do it? Sure. Okay. All right. So watch this. All right, John, go ahead and put your head down. Oh, actually, sorry. Head up. Your left ear, right? Okay. Right up, right arm out. Okay. You're gonna resist me. Don't let me push your arm down. Okay. Ready? Okay. Get full. Working out. What are you feeding? All right. Okay. So now go ahead. Put your head down. And get really small. Okay. Cross your arms. Everybody loves this. I want you to think of a time that you were defeated. Think of a time when you were sad. Time when things weren't going well for you. You got the image or the event. Okay. Now I want you to, and be careful with this technique. Get a little emotional. Now I want you to double that feeling that you're feeling right now. Okay. Got that? Yeah. Okay. All right. Now head up. Put your arm out inside. Okay. And now resisting. Watch that. Happen. Bigger. I pushed half as hard. Maybe 80% less. Everyone see that? I pushed way less. What happened in your body when you did that? Just keep on. Literally see the effects of John's thinking on his body. Right there. Okay. Right opposite. So now stand in the power stance. Everyone's seen this one before? The power stance, right? Stand in the power stance. Think about a time you won. Think about a time you were victorious. Think about one of the best moments in your life. Got it? Okay. Now double it. Yep. Got it? Okay. Awesome. Now 3 times. Arm out. Okay, with this. I pushed how much harder? Okay. Everyone see that? What do we see? So what do you notice?
Some more energy.
How do we feel?
I felt stronger. I felt like more like I was ready for the moment.
We could even take it one step further. I could leave the room. You guys can tell John if you're negative or positive. I can go back and I can tell you what he was thinking. Right? And it would be simple. Okay? That's how much power you have over your body, over your life, is by simply thinking something positive or negative, being empowered or being the victim. And you can see a weak physical response or a resilient physical response. Well, is that helpful to see? What's that? Yeah. I forget this stuff all the time. It's real. Like showing stuff that we can touch and see. So cool. Okay. Let's go ahead and sit on down. And let's go ahead and let's lay on our backs. I think that'll be the best way to kind of do some breath work here. That is more comfortable. Okay. Gonna go over a couple basic techniques. All right, so if you have any low back pain, bend your knees and keep your feet flat on the floor. That'll take any pain out of your low back. Okay. All right, the first technique that we're gonna do here is called pure circular breathing. Okay, so go ahead and close your eyes. And in your mind's eye, start to remove any gap or any pause between your inhale and your exhale. Okay. So as you breathe in, you bring your inhale all the way up to the top. No pause, no break. Let your exhale float right back down to the bottom. As your exhale gets to the bottom, no pause, no break. Let your inhale float right back up to the top. So in your mind's eye, starting to create now, it's called pure circular breathing. One continuous breath. Inhale to exhale. And as you do that, start to remove any sputters, any edginess, any jaggedness from your breath, from your mind, and from your life. And as you do that in your mind's eye, see, sense, or feel your breath moving in one smooth, pure, continuous circle, just like warm oil flowing in to out. That's see your breath, feel your breath, notice your breath. Moving in a smooth, continuous circle, like warm oil. No resistance, flowing from moment to moment, effortlessly. Now from here, you can keep that image of oil if you want. If you want to remove it, you can. Here, we're now going to create what's called one-to-one breathing. Okay, all that means is that your inhale length and your exhale length are going to start to become more the same. Okay, so we'll start with a 4 count. Then we'll move on from there, okay? So exhale out. And then inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. On your own, inhale 4. And exhale 4. If you're finding that 4 is too much, you can decrease evenly, maybe 3 count in, 3 count out. Or if you find that you have more room, more capacity for breath, inhale up to a 10 count in and a 10 count out. Whatever you've landed on for your breath ratio, keeping it the same. Even inhale, even exhale. You can even imagine now that you've got your breath like on an ironing board and you're ironing out any sputters, any edginess, any jaggedness. Just smooth out your breath, smooth out your thoughts, your thinking patterns. That'll start to smooth out your life and transitions, even in and even out. Continue with that one-to-one breathing for the next minute or so on your own. You're doing it perfectly just as you are. Release those techniques. And now go ahead and put one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest. The technique we're going to do now is called belly breathing. Belly breathing is one of the best ways you can engage your parasympathetic nervous system. That's your body's ability to rest and digest, or relax. Okay. So from here, all I want you to do to start, focus on is breathing into your belly. So you're going to literally feel your hand rising and falling as you breathe into your belly. If you need to put both hands on your belly, that's fine too for some more feedback. Focus all of your attention, all of your awareness on breathing into your belly and then breathing out of your belly. Feeling it gently rise and fall. One breath at a time, one moment at a time. Breathe in your belly, fill. Exhale, relax. Know that as you're doing this, you're massaging your vagus nerve. That's the nerve that tells you that you're safe, that you can rest, recover, relax. Couple more rounds. Breathe in your belly, feel your palms rise. Out of your belly, feel your belly fall and relax. Now, you have both hands on your belly, bring one hand back up to your chest. Now from here, you're going to start to inhale belly, ribs, chest. Exhale chest, ribs, belly. Inhale belly, ribs, chest. Exhale chest, ribs, belly. As you do that, start to feel your breath rise, belly, ribs, chest. Fall from chest to ribs to belly, just like a wave. Bring in that element of water again, rising and falling. As you breathe in, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. First, it might be jagged. It might be kind of 3 steps with 3 different breaths. As you start to relax and get more comfortable, and you start to smooth out each part of the breath. So it's just one flow from the bottom of your belly up to your chest. And from your chest down your belly. And as you do that, relax more. If you wanted to add in that 1-to-1 breathing now, you could combine that in so you're keeping the same breath count in and the same breath count out. Finish the round you're on. Go to exhale, release. And open your eyes, wiggle your fingers and your toes. All right. And when you're ready, you roll to your side and then come on up, seated again. All right. Okay. Notice how you feel. Notice what's different. Yeah. All right. Let's go through each one. Anyone fall asleep on me? Falling asleep in meditation just means you're tired. That's all it means. Okay, so we've already done like 5 different breath works throughout the course today. Okay. So the first one we did to start to fall, we didn't just do it now, we did it in our first meditation. First one we did in our original meditation today is called Finding the Breath That's Right For You. Okay, that's when I said, find the breath that's right for you, not too fast, not too slow, but just right. Okay? This is really the foundational piece to building a breathwork practice right here. Okay? Where I think some other practices like Buddhism or Zen or Tai Chi, where they kind of miss where yoga fills in the gaps, is doing breath work before meditation is like a warm up for meditation. Okay, so if we're not doing breath work before, it's really hard to go from I'm in my daily life to like I'm meditating and I'm one with God. That's a pretty big gap for most of us. So breath work is what allows us to arrive and allows us to come into our body and warm up so that when we get to meditation, we're ready to concentrate. Okay. So this is how I start anything I do personally. Whatever practice I'm doing, right here. Find the breath that's right for you, and not too fast, not too slow, just right. Then remember I said earlier, you'll know you found it when you feel a sense of release, relief, or something that's just kind of like, okay, right? Sometimes this can take a minute. Sometimes this can take 5 minutes. There's no timeline on finding it. It can change every day. Questions on that breathwork technique? Finding the breath that's right for you? Okay. The breath's also a metaphor. Find the blank that's right for you. Find the relationship. Find the work, right? Find the gym. Find the community. Whatever is right for you, do that. How do you know it's right for you? You'll feel, oh, this feels right. How will you know it's not right for you? You'll feel tense. You'll feel stressed. You'll feel resistance. Okay. So that's the first one. Breath is right for you. I could have been a doctor in a different life, but we haven't ready. Okay. Or okay. The next one, these will kind of go in order. Next one is the one we just did, pure circular breathing. So that's one when I said remove the gap between your inhale and your exhale. Okay. And then once you do that, you start to bring in that sense of like oil, flow. Inhale, you exhale. Okay. What you're doing there is as you're smoothing out your breath, you're smoothing out your thoughts. So Sylvia, this might be another really good one for you here too. It's like creating more fluidity, more smoothness, right? Or if anyone here has trouble with transitions, this is a really great one for transitions. Like, oh, I'm here talking to you. Okay, I'm at home. I'm with my wife. There's no jaggedness. It's just like, what's next? Okay. Questions on the pure circular breathing technique?
I like it.
You like it? What do you like about it?
Never thought about it. Thought I had to hold my breath, then breathe out. Just going in with that, very easy.
Yeah, and what's nice there is a lot of the breath works out there now are okay, inhale, hold,
Yeah.
exhale, hold. It's like that shit.
Square breathing.
Yeah, I don't like square breathing for the general population because it actually can be quite aggravating.
Yeah, I think
Especially holding your breath. If anyone has any kind of trauma or fear around that, holding your breath can actually be extremely agitating. So breath work's not a panacea. It's not a one size fits all. Like here's a pill that works for everyone. It's like, again, what works for you. So if you're noticing holding my breath doesn't feel good or safe or it's too much work, any perfectionists in the room? Box breathing would not be my route of prescription for you because you can mess it up too much. There's too many pieces of inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4, right? This is just like, oh, like I said, I can't mess it up. That's right. Doing it perfect. Oh, John?
Well, I was just gonna say that when I found it easy going from an exhale and smooth going to an inhale, and then when I got to the top of the inhale, it felt much more jagged getting to the exhale.
Any insight on that, on the difference between the inhale and the exhale?
It seems like we probably are feeling the urge to like hold on to things or like potentially a scarcity mindset a little bit.
We can track back to what we saw on your throwing of the energy. This is where we pay attention. Throwing the energy, you seem to be maybe better at bringing in, holding on, but struggling to release or let go. Robin, does that track at all?
Yes.
The way you breathe is how you think. How you think is how you live your life. So again, this is the awareness piece for John. Oh shit. Yeah, interesting. I feel much more comfortable inhaling. Most of us are either inhalers or exhalers. If I'm an inhaler, I tend to be someone that brings in. Okay, I might be more selfish. I might be more kind of able to take care of myself. I might be more grasping, but I also might have a more of a challenging time letting go or giving. Okay, a lot of people are also then exhalers. A lot of people in the wellness space, massage therapists, coaches, they're exhalers. Doctors, what are they doing? They're giving. right? And what are they not doing? Receiving, bringing in. So we're all off balance in different areas either, and breath is one of the best ways you can find out where are you slightly off, right? Where do you struggle with? Noticing I'm good on inhale and exhale, but it's the transition or whatever it is. It's going to tell you how you're thinking there. Thanks for bringing that in. It's really, really subtle and really, really magical work right there. We talked about awareness. That job might be where you focus. I would focus there for you. And that'll teach you more than any book or any teacher will ever be able to teach you right there. A couple years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, we were at a point when we were going to close Tribe because it wasn't working for me or Billy. Giorgio was there, and we were just struggling from COVID, and I was feeling drained all the time, unhappy, unfulfilled, drained, and I was on the phone with my teacher, and she goes, "Okay, well, you're telling me you're drained, you're telling me you're tired, you're telling me that you don't feel fulfilled." She goes, "Tell me about your breath work practice." And I was doing inhale 10. Exhale 20. So, does that breath work sound like it's good for someone who's tired and needs energy, or the inverse? Right? And I'm a seasoned teacher and I couldn't see it. It was too close to my own face. She goes, "What are you doing? We need to change your breath work. We need to change your breath work to the opposite." So we changed it to an inhale for 20 and an exhale for 10. So I learned to start to give myself more and actually not give as much, right? And 2.5 years later, Tribe is the most successful and the biggest it's been. My relationships are better, my health's better, I'm happier. And it's like, wow, my breath was showing me that I'm just giving to everyone else in the world except for the person that matters the most to me, which was me. And it took someone else pointing that out, right? That's a real example of how impactful breath is. Within a month, my life transformed of that, changing the breath. Okay. Cool. Good stuff. Thanks for that, Joe. All right, the next one. This is where we really start to learn, maybe for the first time for some of you, of breath control. Okay. So one-to-one breath I'd say this is like the foundational building block of breath control. Okay. One-to-one, all it means is, and this also translates, it's called samavriti, which means same wave. Okay. One-to-one just means my inhale length and my exhale length are the same, or at least they're closer. Okay, so John, are you noticing you have a longer inhale or exhale?
Exhale.
Longer exhale. Okay. So John might be at like 2 to 4, something like that. Okay. So maybe we get John to like inhale 2, exhale 3. We just want to like close the gap. But eventually, can we get to 3 in, 3 out? Right? Well, 4 in, 4 out. Okay. The number doesn't matter. What you're working towards is getting your inhale and exhale even. This is balance. Right? This is why this is the cornerstone of it.
It's very easy for me. Just let it right perfect.
The one-on-one.
So comfortable. I
Yeah.
was like, whoa.
So he owns the tattoo shop next door. I would say for you, you could do the whole entire time you are tattooing. Right?
I forget to breathe. I hold my
Yeah.
breath when I'm doing outlines. You can't breathe.
Yeah. So you're gonna know, okay, I need to hold my breath at certain points. But when you're not, inhale. Exhale. Right? And that control, yeah. That control is gonna keep you balanced and even. Okay. And then from there, then we can get more technical down the road. We can work on exhaling longer, we can work on inhaling longer, we can work on holding, but that stuff's like 2 down the road. That's the next workshop. Okay. Questions on this on the one-to-one breath? Okay. So when you're building, what I want to give you all is tools to build your own meditation practice. Okay. This is how I suggest you could start. Okay. Take a minute or two, find the breath that's right for you. Okay. Once you got the breath that's right for you, then transition to pure circular breathing for a couple minutes. Okay. And then when that feels good, transition into one-to-one breathing for a couple minutes. Okay. Maybe that's 5 to 10 minutes right there. And we talked about with Renata, priming. This is kind of the foundation right here. Okay. Over time, 5 minutes will feel like no time at all. Maybe this becomes 10 minutes. Maybe this becomes 20 minutes. Okay. Questions on this on the the kind of foundational pieces of breath work on how to build your own breath practice.